right, it's 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. Time for Legal Lane. This is your opportunity to get some legal advice. You need to call 622-9622. Vanessa Lane Jennings is here. She is an attorney in Ocala from the law firm, the Jennings Law Firm. And if you ever need any legal advice and you don't want to call a radio show, go to the Jennings Law Firm at 2945 Northeast 3rd Street or give them a call, 804-0092. Right now, though, on the air, 622-9622. Speak to Vanessa Lane Jennings, and she'll answer your legal questions. Good morning, Vanessa.
Good morning.
How are you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. You look nice.
Thank you.
It's going to be a nice week. It's going to rain tomorrow.
Well, that's sad.
That's what they say. But Sunday, Mother's Day, is going to be a beautiful day.
Alrighty then.
Are you going to be able to be with your mom?
No, I was with her last weekend.
So did you do Mother's Day last weekend?
Sure. I was there. Isn't that what doing Mother's Day? It's my gift.
Yeah, Mother's Day is being with your mom. Yeah. Do you look like your mom?
Absolutely not.
No. Do you look like your dad?
No. Yeah. Well, I look like extended family relatives. Like everyone looks like someone different.
Is that right?
Yeah.
All
three of us look. You can see similarities between us, but we all look different.
Oh wow! So what'd you do? Where did you go?
We went to Sarasota.
Oh, okay. So you went down there to see your mom and dad.
Oh yes.
Okay.
We didn't make her drive. We're good kids.
Was that a 4-hour drive for you? 4?
4? No,
5?
It's under 2.
2?
Under 2.
You must be a fast driver.
I didn't drive. The little one drove.
How do you get out of a ticket? The little one?
Yeah, Sally.
Oh, Sally.
Yeah, she drove.
So thank you for being in here and answering our questions about legal things. Was there something in the news we wanted to ask Vanessa about?
Oh, yeah, I can't recall, though. It was something yesterday.
We always forget.
You wanted to.
We always forget. Yeah.
Fair enough.
To talk about.
Yeah. So there was a story this morning in the news about Corinne Brown. She had like 22 charges against her. 18 of them she was found guilty, and they're interviewing her after the case. So I have a question about this.
Okay.
So somebody high profile like that gets in trouble. They're found guilty of these major law violations, right?
Right.
How come they're not taking her to jail? How come she's walking out and talking to reporters? How does that work? Does that happen for everybody, or do you have to be like a former congresswoman to get that?
Well, no. Because look at Martha Stewart. She didn't walk out. She went to jail. So I meant just because you're famous doesn't mean you don't go to jail.
Oh, okay.
It depends on the strength of your case. If you're a prosecutor, like if you're going to give a deal, it depends on the strength of the case. Publicity does play a role in it. That's not, something that even a prosecutor's office would deny. And they look at the facts and circumstances and what was done, and they say, is jail warranted, or is probation okay, or
Oh, okay.
Whatever.
But is there ever a time delay between what do you call it when somebody's found guilty?
between the being accused and being sentenced? Is that what you're asking?
Not being accused, but when you're found guilty.
Right,
What's
found
that
guilty.
called?
When they find you guilty.
Adjudicated? Is that what that's called?
Well, no. Well, the adjudication is when that's going to come in your sentencing phase. So they find you guilty.
Oh.
The jury finds you guilty.
Oh, so she was found guilty, but she hasn't been sentenced yet.
It depends. Every court system does it a little bit different. I don't mean every court system, but different counties do it different. Some
Okay.
do it directly after trial. Like, you go to trial, you go into sentencing right then and there. Even in bigger counties, some judges just prefer it that way. Some judges don't. Most give you enough time, and they give the defense. When I say you, I'm actually talking about the defense bar.
Thank you.
They give the defense bar the opportunity to go and come up with a reason why they should get a lower sentence. Because normally in most states, there are sentencing guidelines that says this type of crime is punishable up until X amount of years. Okay? So, do you get 0 years? Do you get the max? Like, let's say it's a third-degree felony in the state of Florida. That's maximum 5 years. Now, there's some things are a little tricky because there's what's called minimum mandatory, which says even no matter what, the judge doesn't have it in his discretion. He has to give X amount of days or X amount of years. But in cases that don't have it, it's in the judge's discretion.
Oh, okay.
So they give the defense time to get people together, and they give it also gives the prosecution time to get their facts together, and there is actually a sentencing hearing Both sides give their stories of why it should be what they think it should be. The prosecution gives their recommendation, the defense gives their recommendation, and the judge decides.
So, and do you as an attorney sometimes request a different judge if you know like one is going to...
No, that's your judge. Your judge is your judge.
Your judge is your judge. You don't have anything to say about it.
Your judge is your judge.
Oh, okay.
Unless you've asked them to be recused, but you're at the sentencing phase, so you would have done that a long time ago.
Okay.
And since Corinne Brown was brought to trial and found guilty, she kept saying that it was somebody else's fault. Now, is the other person going to be arrested and charged with
he's already in
the
jail.
same things?
Well,
That guy's already in jail.
okay.
Yeah, he pled guilty and everything.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. That was her aide.
right. So that's a little bit harder. That goes back to our first conversation where he's taking the prosecution's deal. Like he didn't want to go to trial.
Oh, okay. So he admitted it, and then they worked out whatever the sentencing was right then.
Well, the prosecutor says this is what we're offering you, take it or leave it, and then they present it to the judge. The judge can accept that offer and say okay, or they could reject it. Most times it's accepted.
Do you know there was a case not in this country? I think it was in Russia, and this kid he was doing Pokemon Go in church.
Sometimes you gotta play, you gotta catch them all.
And he was facing, he didn't get sentenced to this, but he was facing a 6-year prison sentence. I thought, holy mackerel. In a country, I thought they didn't even care about God in Russia, but for some reason,
They do.
if you're disrupting a
religious
function
service,
of
right.
belief or whatever it was phrased, yeah, there was and I'm not asking you to comment on a Russian law.
No,
but,
I don't know
But
anything Russian law, right.
aren't you glad we live here? I mean, you might get kicked out of church, but you're not going to go to jail for 6 years, right?
Well, there's everyone. Yes, I'm glad I live here. Let's start there. Yes. Our system, as flawed as it is better than a lot of other systems because that's what our founding fathers wanted.
That's it. I mean, I know
That
you
was
hear
their
complaints
idea.
all the time about the jury system, but what else is better than that? That's about as good as you
Right.
can get, right?
I really don't want a panel of judges deciding my fate.
No, absolutely.
you.
Yeah, your peers. Let me ask you about
Well, no, I don't know. I'm not saying that. Well, theoretically, yes, those are my peers, but I'm saying as a layperson, I wouldn't want to go in front of just judges. You definitely want the average citizen
Yeah,
because
I think so. Yeah.
they live in the real. I don't want to say the judges don't live in the real world because they do, and some of them are my friends, so I'm not even saying that. But it's different.
But can I ask you about the word peers?
Sure.
All right. Sometimes you'll hear a black person on trial and an all-white jury. You'll hear that, especially if it's a racially tainted crime, right?
Correct.
Okay. Or it could be the other way around. And please don't pick on me for putting the black guy on trial.
No, it's fine.
Okay, but it could be a white guy on trial and a black jury, right? But that's not usually what you hear. You'll usually hear a black guy that's on trial and it's a white jury, right?
Correct.
Okay, so that's not his peers. How did that happen? I mean, wouldn't his peers be black people?
Well, okay, so I'm giving you what I honestly believe is my answer, and I'll explain legally how you can get to that point. Yes, those are your peers. Everyone in society who you interact with on a daily basis is your peer. Now, what you're really asking isn't are those his peers? You're saying aren't they going to be biased? Or isn't there some cultural biasness because they don't understand his culture?
Right.
So that's more along the question you're asking, because
True. Yeah, I won't disagree with that.
No, and because our peers are everyone out there. So yes, that's a peer, but are those people who understand his culture? We don't know who those people are. We don't know what their background is. It's like having an all-female jury on a domestic violence case. Is that the best juror?
Okay, that's a real good example.
So that way we've made it gender instead of race, but those things happen. So it's really the defense and the judges and even the state, because they carry that burden, even though they're trying to put the person in jail. They carry the burden to be fair and impartial the entire time. They're supposed to find out what was wrong and go after what was, if it was actually done, then go after the person. right? But the entire time they're supposed to be looking out for what's fair. Now, it's their job, and they go ahead. I'm
Is
sorry.
age considered? Like when I was a kid, your peers were people your age group.
Well, yes, I mean, age does play a factor, I guess, in certain cases. So what ends up happening is the whole voir dire process. Voir dire is when you go and you pick your jury. That's what it's called. That's a fancy French phrase.
I like that word. Sounds like something to have for dessert.
Yes,
I'll have some of the voir dire, please.
And that's probably my favorite part of any trial, because that's the only time that I actually get, or any attorney actually gets to talk to the jurors. You're actually holding a conversation with the jurors themselves. And the judge normally goes first, and the judge asks each person, can you be fair? Can you be unbiased? Can you do this? And some people are honest, or some people have attorneys who are friends, and they answer no. No, I can't. And it's, depending on what the different issue is. And then they literally will spend time on that one person and trying to figure out where the issue lies. If they find out, okay, this person really can't be fair and unbiased, they are excused from that trial. They're not necessarily excused from jury duty for the entire day, but from that trial. There's certain people who have, let's say it's a criminal case, and they have law enforcement whose family. And this is someone who's the person on trial shot an officer. They might not be able to be fair and impartial in that, because they're going to always put their personal beliefs and their feelings into the case. And they can't set it aside. And because they can't set it aside because of who they are,
okay,
they're let off.
All right. So you remember the case of the really pretty teacher that was, I guess, with some
Deborah
kids?
LaFave.
Thank you.
She just jumped right out there.
Remember
with
the
that.
name.
Like, just,
I know.
Okay, do you remember this case, though?
Yes.
She had some boys in the back seat, like 16 years old, and it was part of it took place in Marion County. Okay.
Right.
So you wouldn't want, I wouldn't think, a jury of men, because they go, she's fine. She's not getting to jail, right? I mean, why would you? I mean,
well, no, if as a defense attorney, I would want a jury of men.
Really? Aren't they going to look at her and say, she's so pretty, she couldn't be that bad? I mean, wouldn't they say, oh, that boy liked it? I mean, aren't they going to...
Well, right, but if I was a defense attorney, that's what I would want. Because I would want to keep her out of jail.
Oh, the defense attorney, yes.
So, but as a prosecutor,
okay, yes.
No, I would want some church grandmas.
There you go.
Not lying, that's what I would want.
Yeah.
I would want some
So
church
can you,
grandmas.
I mean, do you have much say-so in that?
Well, no, you get no say in who come. Like, you get these random 12 to, I mean, it depends if it's misdemeanor or felony,
okay.
12 to 24 people who sit down, and you have to weed out your jury. And you have to go juror by juror, row by row, and,
Right.
and weed them out. That's your fun
That's
part.
amazing. It is an interesting thing, isn't it? The whole jury. But as we said, there's no better ideas. That's the best idea we have. The jury system, right?
That is the best system that we have to date.
And it seems that everybody is chosen at random, because I've been called before for jury duty, and other people have, and everything's all different. The earnings part of your income, everything is different, and that's something else that you don't even become jaded by that, because you don't know the background of the people. You just know the questions that you're asking them and what their answers are.
Right. I mean, you have your standard questions that you fill out, because you fill out your little surveys, and it gives the judge basic ideas. But other than knowing what I could speak today, knowing what your occupation is, and knowing how old you are, and knowing things just by looking at you, we could tell, you identify as a female and that you are Caucasian, and, we can assess those things. You add all that together, but then we have to really go in and ask you what's pertinent to this case. So we have to find out what this case is about as the attorney, and then find out if you're biased towards any of the issues that are going to be brought up.
Oh, and then are you very direct in your questions that you ask, or do you try to be ambiguous and get some kind of an answer that way?
Both.
Oh, okay.
Some things I can ask you straight out, like, do you have any law enforcement in your back, or do you have a law enforcement background? Does anyone in your family have a law enforcement background?
Oh, really?
We could ask certain questions straight out. When it comes to an issue about trial, you normally ask it in a hypothetical question. For instance, let's say this is a one-witness crime, and there's only one witness into this entire crime. I'm not going to tell you necessarily if there's only one witness. I can ask that question, but I get better results if I give you a story. And if I give you the story that says, okay, we're at the beach and some man comes up and flashes you. Mm-hmm. And there's a little old lady let me tell you the story. There's someone flashes, and then there's one other witness who saw it.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
so there's two people now. There's the person it happened to and one other person. Are you going to believe that story? And you're going to say yes or no. And then say, well, what if I only brought in the person who was flat? Not the flasher, because the flasher is on trial. Mm-hmm. But if the person who was flashed, would you believe that person?
Oh.
If there's only one person, or do you need another person? Mm-hmm. So I'm not talking about any of the facts of our case, because we could be talking about a murder trial and there's only one witness.
I see.
But what we're trying to understand is, can you only have one witness? For example, a news reporter, anyone who works in the news industry, they're never going to be someone you want on a one-witness case, because they're trained to have two sources. You can't publish without at least two sources, most places say. Some want three, some want more, but they need multiple sources.
Yeah.
One person's testimony is not enough. Mm-hmm. So sometimes you just ask hypothetical questions that have nothing to do with anything. And you get into things like reasonable doubt. I have to ask you what your opinions about reasonable doubt. And that's such a hard concept for even lawyers to understand at times, that we have to break it down into crazy hypotheticals.
Mm-hmm. Oh my gosh.
We are up against the break, so we'll take a break and we'll be right back. If you have a question, you are welcome to call in, and in fact invited to call in. The number is 622-9622. Speaking of flashing, I was thinking about getting a kilt. I was thinking about, I think it's starting a new thing.
I think so. Kind of like the bow tie, but you got the kilt.
No, it's not like a bow tie. It's like
No.
a kilt. All right.
I'm going to let you all work that one out.
We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accident. On this Friday, sunshine and some clouds and very warm, high 89 in the coast, 94 inland. Friday night, mostly cloudy, though 66 inland, 71 along the coast. Times of clouds and sun on Saturday, and very warm with a shower or thunderstorm in spots. The high 83 at the coast, 93 inland. On Sunday, mostly sunny, highs in the mid-80s at the coast, near 90 inland. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hi, this is Becky at Hello Gorgeous Salon. Let's get rid of those sun-damaged ends and faded out color and get into something rich and vibrant. It's time to get that new look started. So call today and set up your appointment at Hello Gorgeous Salon, 351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is a certified Brazilian blowout salon. We can tame those locks, leaving your hair healthy and shiny with a Brazilian smoothing treatment. And whether you're going on a job interview or out on a date, your hands do a lot of talking. Manicures are a must. Hello Gorgeous is a full-service salon, so let us help you make a great first impression. Call us today to set your appointment at Hello Gorgeous. Our number is 352-351-5358. Again, that's 352-351-5358. Hello Gorgeous is conveniently located in the heart of downtown Ocala, right next to the historic Marion Theater. And don't forget, we also do men and children's cuts too.
Hello, gorgeous.
Hey, Matt, I know Sunrise Automotive does auto stuff, but I need some tires for my truck. Can you recommend someone?
Yes, I can. We do that.
No, I mean, I need them installed and balanced and all that.
Yep, we do that.
Well, my son needed his windows tinted.
Yep, we do that.
I need my
too.
seat replaced.
Yep, we do that too.
I need a new roof line, a new spoiler, and a new trunk.
Yep, we can even do that too.
Okay, I get it. I suppose you can also do a radio show too.
Well, as a matter of fact, join me, Matt Gibbs from Sunrise Automotive, every Tuesday at 10 for auto repair with personal care right here on The Source.
Here's what you may have missed on the John Tesh Radio Show.
Basically, studies have shown that the longer we spend sitting, the more likely we are to die an early death. How long does it take for you to decide whether or not you find them attractive? Would you believe it takes only 100 milliseconds? If you're trying to choke down a pill the size of your pinky, place the pill on your tongue, take a sip of water. Don't swallow. Bend your head forward, chin toward your chest, keeping your head down. You swallow the sip of water.
Intelligence for your life on the John Tesh Radio Show. Don't miss this stuff.
Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion. brings together business and community partners, economic development leaders, and educational providers to connect employers with qualified, skilled talent and job seekers with employment and career development opportunities. Tune in the first and third Wednesday of each month at 9:30 a.m. to Career Source, Citrus, Levy, Marion, and learn how they can help you.
All right, 5 minutes. Wow, 5 minutes before 11 o'clock. Wow, it's been a fascinating, it's 25 minutes so far, 20 minutes so far. Vanessa Lane Jennings is here from the Jennings Law Firm. There's 5 minutes left. If you want to call in with a question, we would love to hear from you. If you have a need for any legal advice, maybe it's something as simple as a car accident. Well, it's never simple, really. Maybe you're going through a divorce or you know somebody who is, to tell that person about Vanessa. The Jennings Law Firm is at 2945 Northeast 3rd Street, and their phone number is 804-0092. Call us if you need that repeated. But right now, you can call Vanessa on the air at 622-9622. All these things are, it must seem to you that you're like teaching kindergarten students, because I feel like I don't know. I mean, you go to law school 12 years after you start kindergarten, and we're still in kindergarten, so.
Oh, it was a lot longer than 12 years after I went to kindergarten.
16 years?
Mm-hmm. Don't make me do math.
So 4 years after you graduated high school, you started law school? Or longer than that?
No, it's 8 years. Well, 4 years, and then, 4 years after high school.
4 years after, yeah. So you went 4 years of normal college
Mm-hmm.
and then 4 years of law school?
Well, most people do. I did not. I took time off.
Oh, you did?
Yeah.
What'd you do in the interim?
That's when I worked on campaigns.
Oh, okay. Well, that comes in handy, though. Doesn't that background help you in a lot of things? For example, if you were on the case with Corinne Brown's trial, you would sort of have some insight, right?
Yeah. I don't really do that type of
practice.
But yes, in that particular case, it would.
Okay, let me ask you this. The trouble that she got into was because she had a charity that the money didn't go to what it was supposed to go to. So how could if I wanted to start a charity, would I need to come to an attorney to set up the charity so that I wouldn't ever get into that kind of trouble?
You don't. My answer to almost everything. You don't have to. It's helpful because setting up a nonprofit is a little tricky, but I have done that for local organizations here in town, but you can do it on your own. But she got in trouble not because it was a tricky thing to do, but because she was siphoning off money.
Well, that's what she's found guilty of. But let's just assume it was somebody else, and let's assume that somebody else was telling the truth, that the aide was the one who really took the money. How could I protect, if I started a nonprofit, how could I protect, or is it have nothing to do with the paperwork that sets it up?
Let's just say it doesn't even become a crime. Let's just say they're taking the money and they don't go after it criminally, they're going to go after you civilly. You still have a fiduciary duty as the head of the nonprofit to make sure that that's not happening. That is your duty. Like, it's an actual...
Oh, so as a nonprofit, you can't make a profit.
You can make no, you can't technically make a profit, but you make money, but you're supposed to give that back.
So if WOCA became a nonprofit,
right? Yes.
We couldn't have a paycheck?
No, you could.
Oh, you could?
That you getting paid is not what profit is. Profit's what's left over after everyone's paid.
Oh. So just give Joe a raise.
And that's what a lot of nonprofits do. I mean, if you look, and I'm not going to call anyone out, but if you look at the charts of nonprofits and you see what the top earners make and how much actually goes to charity, a lot of people are always surprised.
Yeah.
Well,
it surprises me because I've seen it.
Well, have a happy Mother's Day weekend.
Thank you.
Whatever you're doing, have fun, and thank you for what you do for us.
Thank you for having me, as always.
All right, call Vanessa if you need an attorney. Vanessa is right here, right in Ocala, the Jennings Law Firm, 804-0092.
From the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.